Here we go. You know what time it is. It's Monday night. It's the time we all come together. Talk about all the craziness that's going on in the world. We're 99 days away from the election. That means there's a whole lot of stuff going to happen in the next 99 days, and I don't think we're ready for it. So we're going to talk about tonight. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, welcome into the big picture. I am your host, Larry Ragland. Of course, the Queen will be joining me in just a few minutes. But it is, wow, what a crazy week it has been. What a crazy month it has been. Can I just say what a crazy hour it has been? I mean, things are moving by the hour and by the minute. I mean, by the time we get all our news compiled here for our Monday night show, some of it's already out of date. We've got breaking news that happens all the time. As we do each and every week, we're going to load this up, man. The Big Picture family is growing all over the world, and we are so excited that we had the opportunity to be here with you. And one of the ways that you help us grow is by smashing that like button and subscribing to our channel. Tonight, Monday nights, we're only on YouTube, Rumble, and X. So if you're watching us on in those platforms, it's very easy to do. Just show us some love by hitting that like button, hitting that follow button, whatever platform you're on. We would appreciate it greatly. Thank you for that. And, you know, I had planned on showing you some pictures tonight from our recent trip to the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot conference, but we were not able to get those pictures onto the computer tonight. We got, as always, we've had several computer issues that have already happened tonight, so we just roll with what we got. We'll show you them on another broadcast or maybe make some posts. Look for them. We had a good time. A lot of people have asked me this week, where do you stand on Bigfoot? Do you believe in Bigfoot? Well, I'll put it this way. I believe that they're seeing something, and I don't know what they're seeing. I always tend to have the same argument for Bigfoot that I have for aliens, and that is probably it has to do with some type of tie to the spirit realm, and we always want to say Nephilim is involved here, fallen angels, whatever. Who knows what they are? You know, one thing that Sandy and I were talking about coming back is, did we come away with any new knowledge? Did we feel like that we came away with any new knowledge? And this is not a shot at the conference. The people there were just amazing, but there were just so many varying opinions on the subject. I think we come away with the same feeling that we had going up there, is they're probably seeing something. But we didn't go because we're big Bigfoot people. We went because one of the main people there, Tony Merkel's a good friend of ours, and we wanted to see him and support what he was doing. But we also wanted to meet some people, and we had fun. We had a good time. And one of the things that we'll show you be looking for on the YouTube, some of the community post pictures. We'll show you pictures not only from the Bigfoot conference, but we'll show you pictures that's where Sandy and I went on our honeymoon in 1989, y'all. We went all the way up there, drove all the way up there, and spent about a day, maybe half a day the next day, and then we came back. And then that, but we saw our original hotel that we stayed in that night. We saw the first place we ever ate at, which was the Shoney's up there as a married couple. So it was pretty reminiscent and cool for us to see that and to be a part of that. But we had a good time. We had a really good time. But it's time to get into some news tonight. So I'm gonna bring in the Queen in just a moment, and we're gonna start breaking some stuff down tonight. And let us know where you're watching from tonight. We hadn't asked that in a while. You ready, babe?
What? Wait, I didn't get to talk about the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot conference.
All right. Well, look, there you go. Well, you talk. I've already went in depth. I don't know how much time you want to spend at the beginning of the show, but go ahead.
Yes.
Where's your mic? Your mic?
Yes. We were there, and it was cool.
You just talk. I'm gonna adjust it.
And I was thankful for the opportunity. Walked around Gatlinburg to the extent that you can walk around Gatlinburg with a knee that's in really bad shape. But yeah, I don't think my feelings changed at all about Bigfoot. I think that there is something out there, and it didn't really change my feelings or my thoughts one way or another. But I did find out a little bit more, some new information that I wasn't aware of before. But I just want to go ahead and throw the gauntlet down to our friend Tony Merkel. He's going to be working on a Bigfoot conference. And I just know his is going to be the coolest, most rock and roll of all Bigfoot conferences in the future. So we'll be ready for you, Tony, when you launch that Bigfoot conference. But fun. Apparently, we left the area and a flood came. Go figure.
Yeah.
So I think they're okay, though. I don't think anybody floated away. But we are, again, thankful for the opportunity to get away, do some research, meet some new people. Hopefully that can be coming on our show in the future.
Yeah.
And always enjoy spending time with my honey.
Yeah, so people are asking what's going to happen in 99 days. And a lot of people that are asking that are from other countries. They're asking that, well, it's 99 days until election night for us, November 5th. And we have said many, many times on this show that we believe there is going to be, already we know there's been chaos, but there's going to be utter chaos between now and the election. Man. I mean, we always talk about an October surprise. I believe we still got time for a July surprise. It's July 29th. We still got another July surprise coming, an August surprise.
They're defacing property in Washington, D.C. again and demonstrating and burning things. And, you know, what else are we going to see?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's always
it's crazier.
There's always opportunity for more.
Somebody's going to up the ante, right?
All right. Before we get into all that, we got to cover the things that are happening around the world. It's not just here. First off, Israeli sources are saying that war against Lebanon begins tonight.
Right. This is Hal Turner.
This is Hal Turner. So go ahead and comment on that.
I don't know. You know, he is always breaking, and he supposedly has insights and contacts, informants, and so forth. When I saw this headline, I was like, wow, that's a little distressing for me.
Yeah, and the reason this is, and I'm sure that many of you keep up with this and know all about this, but this is a result of the bombing from Hezbollah on the soccer field that killed all those children.
Terrible. What is the count now?
I think it's 12.
Okay.
I think it's 12 children. 12. But so Israel's going to retaliate, and anytime you do something like that, you just know they're going to retaliate. So,
well, this was a very big deal over the weekend. Obviously, the news cycle had to shift to covering this. There were many alt news, YouTube videos, and so forth, as well as it should have been. But this just takes it to another next level. Yeah, it was already serious. It's been serious. This has been going on since last October, and here we are. And this was pretty low down. Yeah.
So war against Lebanon begins tonight. Hezbollah now moving precision-guided missiles. After the Sunday night betrayal of Israel by the United States, whose envoy allegedly leaked attack target info to Hezbollah Lebanon, thereby stalling the planned attack last night, word out of Israel is that, quote, war against Lebanon begins tonight. Reports coming from inside Lebanon claim Hezbollah has been moving and readying some of their precision-guided missiles, but this seems odd. Commentators saying, if such missiles are being moved, won't they be visible from recon drones or satellites? Won't that make the first strike target? For its part, Hezbollah has issued a statement. Hezbollah does not want a comprehensive war with Israel, but if war breaks out, it will fight without limits. The updated Israeli strike options in Lebanon today have not been presented to Security Cabinet for fear of leaks. Netanyahu and Gallant will make the final decision on targets and timing. The U.S. is pressing Israel to hit only military assets and to avoid attacks on Beirut. The U.S. Embassy in Beirut reiterates calls for U.S. nationals to leave Lebanon immediately before a crisis begins. Those who choose to stay or can't leave should prepare for a prolonged stay in their current locations. Yeah. Video below shows Beirut airport is presently overwhelmed as thousands attempt to flee the country before the start of the attack. We'll play that video.
Yeah, good move. Get out while you can.
So this is the Beirut airport.
Sure.
They know what's coming.
Yeah.
It says readers should be aware. Okay, it talks about the time zone and so forth. But we want to talk about that same. But I want to pull in this next article here.
Well, before you go to that, let's just touch on the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu was in our country, had to leave. I don't know what good he got done while he was here, unless some good and positive forward motion came out of meetings that he had with Donald Trump, because I don't know how seriously this current administration takes meetings with him. How much, how much respect is given to him and the plight of his country. He came here to get some help, right?
Right.
I wish we had time to play his entire speech that he gave.
It was unreal.
It's a good watch, and it's kind of will hopefully shake people up and make them understand and respect the position he's coming from.
Yeah. Well, when he said, hey, you protesters, you pro-Hamas protesters, you have become Iran and Hezbollah's useful idiots. Right. I'm talking about, dude got in there in our joint session of Congress and just laid it on the line.
He did.
And, boy, I tell you, he said stuff that nobody in Washington's been bold enough to say, and he said it on our grounds. Yeah. But here's what I want to show you tonight. I don't know if you have seen or heard this, Sandy. We talk a lot about EMP on here. But there is multiple people are saying, and this is from the Jerusalem Post, the title of the article is, "Even the Cockroaches Won't Survive. Expert Discusses Hezbollah's New EMP Weapon."
Well, my goodness, I wonder where they got that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it says the CEO of Asgard Systems, a company developing military technology for the defense industry, discusses Hezbollah's new tactic and supply of electromagnetic ordnances. The Kuwaiti newspaper Al Jarida reported that Iran has supplied Hezbollah and other Iranian proxy forces with electromagnetic ordnances, which can disable communication systems and shut down radars. The company developing the military technology for the defense industry and the initiator of the 30U30 in defense competition in 2024 discussed the issue. And then it says, what is electromagnetic ordnance? We talk about that here a lot, especially with Standeo.
Yes.
Describing electromagnetic ordnance is like talking about something no one has ever seen, but everyone understands exists and is presently in reality, in our case, on the geopolitical and military chessboard of the Middle East. In essence, imagine lightning striking the building you live in,
yes,
but not hitting a lightning rod or antenna, but the entire building, causing all the electrical panels, water heaters, water and electrical systems, household appliances, computers, television systems, and even life-saving medical systems to stop working. It's like a power outage, but in this case, the systems can also burn out from within inside itself like an electrical short.
Yeah.
I suspect the threat is more focused on bases, strategic facilities, desalination systems for their water, and the Israeli power grid. However, it's impossible to say precisely, as such a weapon has never been used in history, so there are no sources of references to learn from. So they're literally saying that Hezbollah, in addition to the hundreds of thousands of short-range missiles that they have, we know about that they have, they now supposedly have EMP technologies.
So here, Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel has basically come to our country requesting more help. They need any kind of weapons, armament, anything we can do to help them, while there's no shortage of ways to damage infrastructure,
right?
Damage all of these armaments and kill people from the other side.
Exactly. Well, we've talked a lot about the fact that we knew these weapons are out there, and everybody's talked about what would happen if they're ever used. And this article says they've never been used.
Yeah.
And so
never been broadly tested.
We don't have a reference point of what exactly will happen. But can you imagine? And I'm just assuming that if Iran has given that to Hezbollah, probably Israel has them as well. I would not believe that Iran would be ahead of Israel. Who knows?
Yeah,
who
knows?
But if they hit Israel as a retaliation with an EMP, I mean, you just think about all the things in the Israeli army that is controlled digitally.
Yes.
And you know, what we've talked about here is digital means programmable, programmable means controllable.
Yes.
But before you even get to digital, you get to electronic. Digital is digital because it is electrical. And if the electrical is down and burn up, you have no way to control the digital or to control your AI, your computer systems, your firing systems, your GPS systems, and it would render them defenseless.
Well, okay, that's just in a military aspect. So we don't know, supposedly, how broad this weapon can disable things. So let's look at it in a infrastructure way. So let's say your city can't pump fresh water.
Right.
There's no electricity. It's bitter cold or it's very hot. You can't operate your hospitals. People that are in their homes who are on oxygen or they need special care, they don't have electricity. Basic communication between
Right.
family members. This could get bad quickly. I don't know how many people are familiar with some of the statistics, and these are kind of crazy, but statistics given that if an EMP was set off over our country, if our grid, if our infrastructure went down, many, many, many millions of people would be dead in the course of just 1 year.
Well, multiple people have said that if in America, if just the power grid went down, 2/3 of the population would die.
I mean, that just seems insane.
Yeah.
But when you think about how much of our lives are linked to electricity,
Yeah.
from fresh water to just communications to being able to route trucks to deliver food, medicines, and so forth.
Yeah.
If these things were not able to take place, it would be extremely disruptive to our everyday lives.
Well, one of the things that the media is coming after Donald Trump this week, one of the thousand things that they've come after that he said now, is that he said, you know, we are closer to World War right now at this point by far than we've ever been since World War II. And that includes the Cold War, everything. He said, you know, we are so close to World War, and people just made fun of him. But I'm going to be honest with you, I believe that. We've been saying that on this show here for a long time.
Of course.
That's why we call this show 99 Days of Chaos or 99 Days of Uncertainty, because in this country, it's not just this country. The whole world is watching our election.
Yes.
And so you have people like Xi Jinping, you have Biden, now you have Iran, you have Hezbollah, you have all these things that are happening in the Middle East. It's like there's a fire lit up underneath them that they look at the chaos that's in our country and they're like, oh, if we're going to ever use this weapon, or if we're ever going to invade this country, or if we're ever going to take this back, if we're ever going to do this, we're going to do it in the next 99 days, at the very least 99 or between there. I don't know how many days it is until January 20th.
What better time to pounce than when we look like we're possibly at the weakest point we've ever been, when we look like some kind of banana republic running around here.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's just ridiculous. I never imagined I would see this in my lifetime.
Yeah. Well, then you throw this on top of everything, the World War III talk. You hear Turkey's president come out this week and said, we are seriously considering invading Israel
Come on.
to help the Palestinians. Turkey invading Israel.
Wow.
President, I don't want to say his first name, but Erdogan has raised the possibility that Turkey could enter Israel in support of the Palestinians, a significant step up in his harsh words towards the Jewish state over the Gaza war. But it was unclear whether his comments reflected any concrete plans by Turkey or were just intended to appeal to his political base. Quote, "We should be very strong so that Israel cannot do this stuff to Palestine," Mr. Erdogan said on Sunday while addressing members of his ruling Justice and Development Party in the Black Sea of Rise, his ancestral hometown. Just like we entered Karabakh, just like we entered Libya, we can do similar to them, he said, referring to the Turkish support from Azerbaijan in the conflict with Armenia last year in his country's military intervention in Libya. There is no reason not to do it. We must be strong to take these steps.
Well, I'm with you. It doesn't really cost him anything politically or financially to throw a statement like that out there. But, it might energize the people.
Right.
So I certainly hope that doesn't happen. Israel doesn't need that. They don't need anything else.
No, it goes on to say that throughout the war in Gaza, he has stood up for Hamas, the armed Palestinian group that controlled Gaza and attacked Israel on October 7th, referring to it as an organization of liberation while harshly criticizing Israel. He has compared Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Adolf Hitler and called him a psychopath and a vampire.
They continue to make these kinds of statements. Obviously, Israel was attacked on October 7th. Yeah, they've come out harshly and with a commitment from Benjamin Netanyahu that he's setting this straight, not stopping until it's over. Well, the man has a right to defend his country. So,
is Turkey in NATO? Yeah, Turkey is in NATO.
Okay.
I just done a Google search on that. Turkey has been a member of NATO since 1952.
Wow.
And has its second largest army.
My goodness.
And is the host of the Allied Land Command headquarters.
I had no idea that they had been a member of NATO for that long. That's. Okay.
I mean, I just did a Google search. Is Turkey in NATO? I'm going to put this up here so everybody can see my reference points here, because I was just sitting there thinking, this is a NATO member talking like this? In the aftermath of World War II, Turkey made the historic choice of siding with the free world in the Western Bloc. This policy was led Turkey to become a member of NATO on February 18, 1952. I did not know that. I should have known that, but I did not know that. So you have a NATO member threatening to invade the only democracy in the Middle East.
Wow.
Wow.
Over time, you're talking about a lot of years, probably their former leaders, or maybe the other former leaders, were not as radical. But no matter, to come out and say that and to be a NATO member. Wow. Oh, let's get into the good stuff.
Yeah, let's get into the good stuff. So the other thing that's, on everybody's mind this week is the Olympics, but not because you want to watch your country win a medal, but because they lost their minds and decided to just have the most hedonistic, sexualized, demonically infused opening ceremony. Now, they've been demonically infused for a long time. Don't get me wrong. Okay, sure. You go back, the Olympics. Okay, y'all, that's a whole nother show we could do on. We could detail the last several Olympics, and we could show you ritualistic things across. But this one, y'all, was next level. Yeah. And so Paris Olympics face heavy backlash for mocking God in opening ceremony. Distributes 300,000 protections,
medical aids
for the dudes, or maybe even those dudes that want to say they're women, but still need this for. You can read for sexist event. Yeah, look, that's what you do. You give out 300,000 prophylactics. The 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, France, start up a ruckus after this event's opening ceremony last night, featuring drag queens and other lewd actors appearing to mock the iconic Last Supper painting. Now, I want to say something right here. I'm going to pause this. I'm not going to show the videos. I've already done a whole video on this. You can go back and watch it, which, by the way, got blocked and removed, and I had to delete or something. I don't even know what I did, but to get it back. And it took me a couple of days to get it back, but it's back out there to watch it. But I want to say something here. Sandy, the internet is full of what I call, not everybody's this, but a lot of them I call them Christian Karens. Okay. And this is what they're saying. You Christians, you make us all look bad. You need to calm down. This was not a reenactment of the Lord's Supper, the famous painting, the Last Supper. This was a celebration of some Greek god, whatever. Let me just tell you something. You see that lady in the middle up there? That's where Jesus is. Okay.
They're saying this person was depicting Dionysus.
Yeah, I could remember. Yeah, it's Dionysus, which is the god of debauchery, lust, perversion, and all of sexually lewd things. Okay, so either way, I mean, if I'm you, I'm a Christian, I wouldn't be supporting this. But she, the one that's in the middle on the top, the night it all went down, posted a screenshot on her Instagram and said something like, "Yeah, baby, the gay New Testament is here." That's what she said. Then the Olympic Committee came in and took their video down. You can't go, if you go to the Olympics official YouTube.
So they've wiped it.
They've wiped it. They've scrubbed it. You cannot watch the opening ceremony on the Olympics YouTube channel. They've removed it. And they hit thousands of content creators for copyright strikes. And I got a feeling that was part of what happened to me. But a lot of people started getting hit this. And then they issued an apology that they apologized that they offended Christians.
Right.
So here's what I want to say to you. If
So,
you
let me just
wait, let me finish
my
this.
goodness, I
Hold
gotta
your
say
thought for a
something.
second.
Okay.
If you are more fired up to rebuke me for saying that this is a mockery when you can look at the similarities of how this laid out than you are to call this out, let me tell you something, Karen. I'm not the problem. You are. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you have the Olympic Committee coming out and apologizing, but you have other Christians, so-called Christians, whatever, still rebuking us, who are saying, we don't like this. This is sleazy. They are making a mockery. What if it was totally, they're going to just put out this depiction of Greek mythological characters, figures, supposed people. You go ahead and place them in this manner, someone is going to know that this looks just like.
Oh, it was absolutely
so come
intended.
On. There's an intention there from someone. Maybe these people in the costumes weren't aware of how it looked. Someone knew. Someone knew that it was going to be a mockery. I don't know if they got the exact reaction they wanted, if they were surprised by the blowback. I don't know. But it is what it is. It happened.
Look at the dude in the white on the top. The only difference between him and the disciple on the bottom that has the aqua-looking clothing on is the direction of the hand.
It's an inversion.
It's an inversion.
Another inversion.
There's just you, and then let's not forget about the fact that if you look at the lady in the middle, just go 3 individuals to the left, and it's a child. A child. And in the middle of all this, gyrating and all this, then go 1, 2, 3, 4 people to the left of the child, and you see the guy in the black small jacket. Well, guess what? That guy's wearing a mini skirt with nothing on underneath it. And there is a scene not long after that, only 2 or 3 people down from that child, that he exposes himself on live TV.
Yeah.
It's perversion, y'all. And I'm telling you, I'm fired up about these people trying to call the Christians out. Oh, you are ridiculous, you Christian extremist. You find a devil behind every doorknob and all that. That's the old saying they used to say. But this was not the Lord's Supper. Then why put them behind a table like that? Why not just have them standing? Listen, we all know what this was. This is just a few seconds of it. The whole thing was, did you see? They followed a trouble, if you know what that is, 2 guys and a girl, up the steps into their apartment, and they start making out. 2 guys start making out, shut the door. It was the most perverted thing that's ever been on global television, ever. And you want to get fired up, and you want to correct that this was not the Lord's Supper? Maybe it wasn't, but it's similar enough, and the devil is a cunning serpent.
Yes.
He's more cunning than any beast in the field.
Yes.
You think he would have made an exact duplicate of the Last Supper to mock God? No, he wouldn't. He didn't want to be easily called out.
Yep.
So he didn't make it exactly.
Right.
And he disguised it as something else. But it is demonic, and I'm telling you, it's time for the Christians to wake up.
Yes.
Now you ought to get mad. This shouldn't be the only thing you get mad about. This should be the final straw for you to get mad at what they're doing to our children and all of that. Yeah. But on this channel, I'm telling you, that's why we got Telegram going, because we know what's happening. We know where this is going.
Yeah, come on.
You're not going to have us on this channel too much longer. And I hate that. And I don't want that. And I'm going to do everything I can do to stay here. But I'm not going to sit back and not call out debauchery, sin,
Yes.
and call it what it is.
Absolutely. We have to call this out, and it's okay for you to get upset about this as well, that you should. And I don't know if there's going to be more than one tonight, but this is definitely getting a golden chicken
You
award
better believe
tonight.
it. All right, so I'm not even going to play these videos. I'm just going to scroll through them, and I'm just going to show you screenshots of what we're talking about. Many of you don't want to see the videos, and I don't blame you. They want to say that the horse that came in was some other Greek god and all this. Listen, I know some people have taken advantage of this. I know it's been clickbait for people, and I know you're sick and tired of seeing it, because you can't scroll one thumb scroll without seeing somebody posting that picture. This picture right here, it's everywhere. But you know what I say about it? I say maybe we need to get a little sick of it.
Yeah.
Maybe it needs to be so in our face that we can't just so quickly move on, because that's what they want us to do. When they scrubbed it from the YouTube channel and they started hitting everybody with the copyright strikes, it was just like everything else. I mean, look how quickly they moved on from the fact that a candidate for the presidency of the United States of America had an attempted assassination on him.
Yes.
A man died protecting his wife and child. And watch how quickly they moved on from that, because they want to control the narrative. They want to put out there what they want to put out. And when they feel like they got some pushback, they want to deny, and move on to the next distraction. Well, we're not moving on.
Very good. Very well
I'm
said.
not moving on. I'm mad, Sandy.
You should be. Everybody out there should be.
So just real quick, just to show you this, Olympics takes down opening ceremony videos starring drag queens mocking Christianity. So this is just, confirmation of what we're saying here. The backlash that came, YouTube channel titled "Let the Games Begin," Paris 2024 opening ceremony, spectacular Paris 24 opening ceremony, display an error message, and comments have been turned off. This is what you get now. This video is not available. Well, why? If you're so proud of it, why? What is it? Because sponsors are starting to pull? Is it because people are not paying attention to your glorious Olympic athletes, which is a shame when you got people who have trained their whole life for an opportunity to be on a global stage to win a medal, and we're not even talking about them.
No.
We're not talking about these young people, these people that have given their life to trying to be the best in their field. Yeah. We're talking about a stupid opening ceremony that you had to make it into something that you can't even show your children.
Wow.
I'm done.
Whew.
I'm done, y'all. This is what Mad Larry looks like. Y'all ain't never seen Mad Larry. I'm trying to scroll down here to show you one more thing, and then I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
If it's even on here, it's maybe not on here.
Well, they're having to. I don't know how much time and energy they had to put towards answering. Why did you show this? Why is this here? Why are we seeing this? But obviously, they took it down.
Yeah, they took it down,
and pretty swiftly too.
Well, C-Spire, an internet company, and some other things they do too, some utilities out of Mississippi, they pulled their advertising. They had commercials they were running through the whole Olympics, and they said, "You're not going to mock God." Oh, guess what? I don't even have this too. You know what else they did? You want evidence? You want more evidence that they're anti-Christian and not anti anything else? No, there's no reports of anybody being told that the women can't cover their bodies and their faces. Well, I forgot what they call that. The garment that they wear. They're still wearing them. There's nothing going to come against the Muslims. Nothing going to get. Watch this. A Christian surfboarder who had a cross and Jesus on the cross on his surfboard. That's all it was. You would just see him on the water. You wouldn't even see it. Right. They didn't want to take a chance of him standing that surfboard up. They told him, if you don't remove Jesus from the surfboard, you'll be banned from the Olympics.
My goodness.
Okay, guess what else they told? They sent out a memo and they told every athlete, you cannot speak the name Jesus if you win a medal.
What?
Yes. There was a teenage girl who was a skateboarder who won a medal. And you know what she did? I'm so proud of her. You know what she did? They told her, you cannot say the name Jesus and give Jesus. You know what she did? So they interviewed her, and while she's talking, she said, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in sign language. It was awesome,
so
man.
great.
I watched the video. She's just doing this right here, and it says, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I love it.
We got young people that are rising up and saying, no more,
Yes.
no more.
Yes. That's great.
Boy, I tell you what. Woo, I'm fired up. Hey, and I'll tell you something else I'm fired up about. I'm a preacher, so I can talk to the preachers.
Yeah.
Preachers, wake up. Wake up and preach the gospel, because here's what's happening.
Yes.
You got people that we ain't even convinced where they really are spiritually.
Yep.
Like a Elon Musk, like a Andrew Tate, who is a Muslim. Do you know what he did today? I don't care if it's for clickbait. He's in Romania, which is a Christian nation, Catholic and Christian nation. He went outside his home and held up a sign in front of a bunch of people in Romania. I watched the video, and he was yelling at these people saying, you are Christians. I am a Muslim. Yes. When are you going to stand up for Jesus?
Yeah, for your faith.
When are you going to stand up for what you believe in? I'm a Muslim, and I'm telling you, quit being so weak and stand up for your Jesus.
What a challenge. Come on.
And you got preachers are the ones the reason I'm so fired up, and I'm going to move on. The reason I'm so fired up is most of the people that are coming against people who are calling out this Last Supper painting thing are preachers who are Christian influencers.
Are we living in the upside down? Come on. What in the world?
Well, you know what happened, though? They got floods that happened.
Yes.
Multiple things got canceled. And they spent, Sandy, over $1 billion to clean up their river that was polluted. And in one rainstorm, it polluted it again, and they had to cancel the events.
Oh, my goodness.
Because it was not healthy enough to swim in. Then the lights went out.
Yes, they did.
They went into a blackout. Y'all, I think God was trying to say something.
Right.
And guess what? When the blackout happened, there was only one building's lights that stayed on, and it was the massive Catholic temple.
Yes. That was amazing. That was a great picture.
And then this, they already had terrorists hit the trans thing, not the transportation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, was this new today, or was this
This
yesterday?
was today. This was 15 hours ago. France, the telecom fiber optics was hit.
Yep.
Sabotage affected several telecommunications operations in 6 areas of France. So they were attacked by this, and it says a new round of sabotage attacks, this time targeting telecommunications operators. The fiber optic networks of several operators were sabotaged in 6 areas of France, according to the police. So this was vandalism. So they're under terrorist attack.
Yes.
I mean, come on. When are we going to wake up?
Exactly. Wow.
You better talk before I get in trouble.
No, you're doing great. Woo! Fired up tonight. I mean, it's ridiculous, some of the stuff that we're talking about and that the world is dealing with. I mean, who would have thought the Olympics would just go so crazy? And because there are so many bad actors out there, I mean, they weren't even doing these attacks necessarily because of the opening ceremony. They're just let it be known we're going to be disruptive before it ever started.
They just want chaos. Listen, this is what the world is trying to bring us, just chaos.
Yes.
Because out of chaos comes control.
Yeah.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Absolutely.
Is the mantra of the World Economic Forum that was picked up by governments all around the world.
Yep. You got it.
But there's a few other things going on.
Just a few.
By the way, if this show is helping you at all, maybe this show is just making you mad. If this show is just making your blood boil, I'm not trying to do that.
If we're just too much, just go get a snack and come back. We'll be on something else in a few minutes.
Yeah, our friend Paul Begler says, get a cup of coffee and calm down. But whatever it is you got to do to calm down, don't leave us. Stay with us. Hit that like button. And we would appreciate that so much.
I just want to say hey to Alicia. And guys, y'all pray for Alicia.
Yeah, we're praying for you.
We love you, Alicia.
Lost your father, and we're praying for you.
Yes.
We know that's tough on you. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but for all those that are Paul and Heidi Begley fans, today is Heidi's birthday.
I'm sorry. We had women's lunch today, and that is like a hours and hours event for me on the Mondays when that hits. So I'm just not aware of a whole lot that's going on in the world.
So if Heidi's watching, happy
lunch.
birthday, Heidi.
Love
and
you,
we'll let you know
Heidi.
afterward. We'll send you a happy birthday message.
Oh, by the way, does his webinar drop this Friday?
I think so, and I'm on that webinar.
And you are on that webinar, so
And,
go ahead and buy that
so
webinar.
I'm giving it the spiritual response to aliens among us, and we get deep in it, y'all. We get deep in it. But I want to show y'all what I believe is probably one of the most genuine calls of compassion that I've ever, of just excitement that I've ever seen.
Yes.
This is not fake at all.
Genuine sincerity.
This was not orchestrated at all. I feel such genuineness on this. This is the moment, y'all, that Barack and Michelle got on speakerphone together and called their girl, Kamala, and endorsed Kamala. I love.
Check in with your girl.
I just love that Michelle said, you know, I got the love on my girl Kamala. And, you know, just like everyone else that gets a call on speakerphone, you know, she's holding it up to her ear to pretend that she's talking on the phone.
Naturally, you're going to put it all the way to your ear.
Naturally, you're going to put it just like this when you're on speakerphone.
Call.
Not knowing that her phone is still on, and you can literally see the buttons, showing that she's on speakerphone so that the camera can make sure that they get it and the audio can pick it up and it not just be a personal call. But let's watch it together.
Kamala.
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi. You're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
I can't have this
Look at the
phone
phone.
call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh, my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me. I'm looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both.
Yes.
And getting out there, being on the road. But most of all, I just want to tell you the words you have spoken and the friendship that you have given over all these years mean more than I can express. So thank you both. It means so much. And we're going to have some fun with this too, aren't we?
And by the way, thank you for waiting so long to endorse me.
Exactly. It's like they couldn't make up their mind or something.
But can you feel the love in that call? Well, there it is, y'all. There's no turning
There
back.
it is.
That's the one they've been waiting on. It came through for old Kamala.
Yep.
Barack and Michelle Obama finally endorsed Kamala for president.
There you go.
Barack and Michelle Obama have finally endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president after days of silence on the subject. They expressed their pride and commitment to helping her campaign, but cautioned that Democrats face an uphill battle as Harris trails behind Donald Trump in recent polling. So, little highlights of the call, praised her for her vision, the character, and the strength in these critical moments and demands. Obama's endorsement follows President Biden's announcement to drop out of the 24 race. To fight the endorsement, Barack Obama warned that Democrats are underdogs in the race. Current polling has Trump in the lead.
The record that people are working feverishly to erase.
She is literally her record is being washed from the internet. By the way, and I don't know if Google's fixed it tonight, but Google came under a huge retaliation today. And multiple people was reporting on this. I did it myself to verify it. It was doing this for me as well. Like I said, I don't know if it's fixed now, but if you type in President Donald Trump and hit enter in Google today, it would show you news articles about Kamala. The other thing was if you typed in, you know, when you type and it will start giving suggestions even before you finish it based on the lettering of it. If you typed assassination attempt Donald, the first response was Donald Duck. And then it was, if you did assassination attempt of Trump, it all the way to TRU was Truman. There was never anything about Trump. And even when you typed in assassination attempt of Trump, it never showed the name Donald Trump. So Donald Trump's name is being whitewashed from Google already. And by the way, also, let me tell you what's happened. I don't know if you saw Mark Zuckerberg's interview of about a week ago. They asked him about what do you think about the assassination attempt of Donald Trump, and I couldn't believe it. He said, I'm going to be honest with you, because he's obviously a very big liberal. he's not going to vote for Donald Trump. He said when he got up and put his fist up there and started shouting fight, he said, I got to admit that was probably one of the bad A things I've ever seen in my life. And he really gave him props. Well, guess what? If you go to Facebook now and search for it, it's blurred and says it's offensive content, and you have to confirm that you want to see it before you can even see it. So you can't even now, just that fast, you can't see the assassination attempt photos of Donald Trump on Facebook. You can't search for it on Google.
My goodness.
But yet the record that we have video receipts on of Kamala Harris, you can't find that either. And you can't find the opening ceremony of the Olympics. So no, we're blowing all this way out of proportion. There's no concerted effort to control the narrative.
Come on.
Up in here, I'm fired up. Up in here, up in here.
Yeah, what he said. Well, it's true. I mean, listen, I'm hearing some of this stuff for the first time because I did not see that with Zuckerberg, but this is crazy. When you've got bad actors and controlling hands, they want to come in, they want to take things down, they want to try to change things, they want to block things, they want to make it harder for you to rewatch something that you know you've already seen.
You know it. We got the receipts, y'all.
Yeah.
By the way,
people
if
should be getting upset.
You know what I've started doing? When I see something that I know they're going to take it down, I download it. Yeah. I don't just save it because they can take away what you saved. I download it. And I put it in my own possession.
Good.
Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to come. Very soon. We're going to be telling you things on this show, and you're going to try to find it, and people's going to come back and say that's not true. It's nowhere on the internet. Yep. Because it's been wiped. But I got the receipts. Speaking of the receipts, here's another receipt I'm going to put out there.
Do it.
Elizabeth Warren wants to give citizenship to millions of illegal immigrants, and she says on video, Kamala will get that done. So if you thought the Biden border was a disaster, wait until you get a load of the plans that Kamala and the radical left have.
Mm-hmm. Don't get started on the border.
Oh, yeah.
I just came back from there.
Yeah.
And if you want to...
Go ahead. Tell us about the border. No. Be careful. Be careful. I'm just remembering.
It took us an hour.
Think about this. I want you to say this. I want you to tell them.
It took us... Okay. First of all, was on a mission trip to Mexico, which was amazing, by the way. We were with an organization that this was their 146th or 48th church that we helped to build. And so we were so thankful to be able to be a part of that. So to get there, we had to get out of the vehicle. We had to get all our bags, lay our bags on a table, and be prepared for someone to go through our bags. We had to go inside, and it cost $50 to get across the border, which gave us a visa for 180 days, which I had to surrender back to them when I came back across the border, because it may, if you're going to do any other international travel, it may cause you problems, is what I was told. I mean, I don't plan to go back in 6 months anyway, so... we had to go...
get in Mexico is what she's talking about.
We had to go inside the building. Someone had to speak to us, look at our passport, approve us.
Search everything.
Approve us. Then we go back outside. We've been waiting and waiting. We thought that the attendant was going to go through all of our bags before we ever went inside. So finally, we go back outside, and they finally are finished with whatever they're doing and go through all of our bags.
Think about this.
We have to load all the bags back in the van, get back in the van, and it still takes several more minutes to get across the border. Then on the way back into America, over an hour.
Unbelievable. For American citizens to go into Mexico and American citizens to come back in America, this is what she had to go through on a missions trip, but yet you can make it to the Rio Grande, swim across, walk right in. And have a credit card waiting on you, have an app waiting on you, have a van waiting on you, or maybe even a plane ticket waiting on you to take you somewhere else.
Ask you
Healthcare.
where you want to go and get you there. Yeah. By plane, train,
but wait a minute. There's no way that they're bringing in voters because they can't vote. They can't vote. They're illegal, so they can't vote. but we know what their plan is.
Yep.
Elizabeth Warren on CNN this week confirms that Kamala Harris will grant citizenship to the 10 million illegals she let in as border czar, which we know it's more than that. She will work
Oh, wait a
with.
minute. She wasn't the border czar. What are you
No,
talking about?
that's right. That's being wiped.
No.
That's a Republican talking
Somebody
point.
did not get the memo on this news article.
That's true. They didn't get the memo. She really wasn't the border czar. That is just that's a Mandela effect. Something happened to all of us. We have that's another dimension. Is that a parallel universe that we remember her being the border czar?
Oh, well, this is not the B, so I guess they can say that on this news site.
So she let in as a border czar. She will work with Congress to get that done. So let's just hear her own words.
The border, to have more resources in the states and cities that are supporting migrants. And I believe we need to create a pathway to citizenship. All of that is a part of what we need to do for comprehensive immigration reform. Kamala Harris will work with Congress and get that done.
Now, what is one of the greatest rights and privileges a citizen of a nation has? The right to vote. So if you bring a path of citizenship, all we've heard is quit saying this narrative that is all to shape the voting electorate and all this. No, it's because we need, they just want a better life. Let them just live their life, blah, blah, blah. No. If you make them citizens, they become voters.
Yeah.
And if they became voters by way of the Democratic Party and was fed and all this other stuff by the Democratic Party, who do you think most of them is going to vote for? So this whole narrative that I keep hearing, stop saying that they can vote, they're not going to vote. Well, maybe they can't vote now, although some of them are voting. She openly says it out loud. We know that Kamala Harris will help us give them citizenship, and then they can vote.
Wow. I'm just going ahead and say all the stuff tonight. Get it out there.
But, Biden has resigned. He made that decision after much prayer and
ended his
seeking God.
Campaign.
He sought the Lord, and I'm not making fun of somebody's Christianity, but y'all, this man did not make this decision. We all know that.
My goodness.
Number one, he can't make a decision because of his cognitive state. Number two, he was forced out. We witnessed a coup right before our very eyes. The very people that keep talking about democracy, that we got to protect democracy.
You did a play-by-play or a chronicle of events. I was able to watch most of your show, even though I was in Mexico last week.
Yes.
And
go back and watch it. That says, "Did we just witness a coup?" is the name of it.
Yes, it was a great show. I hope you all have seen it. But it was amazing how this played out. I mean, it's crazy to watch. Crazy to think what we have lived through.
Absolutely.
Of how this played out.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It appears to be a coup.
Yeah. And I don't usually flash comments, but I got to flash Billy's up here.
Okay.
Isn't there already a path to citizenship? Yeah. It's called come across legally, apply for citizenship, go through the process, and become a citizen. Mm-hmm. It's been done millions of times and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of times. Many people done it the right way, and they are citizens. Yes, there is a correct pathway to citizenship.
Yes.
Good point, my man.
Yes.
But now, Biden consulted with his family, and he decided, I'm not going to run. Well, we've already forgotten. We haven't on this show, but the narrative has done moved on from. You think about all the people that are creating. They're now calling it Camelot.
Yes, I saw that today.
Camelot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So like Camelot, that she's this unifying force. Well, watch this. These people who have created this narrative that she's going to win now, or it's the race is neck and neck, are the same ones that just a few days ago, when you really just say weeks and days ago, was spending all the time talking about it's over. Biden has got to go, destroying Biden, threatening Biden, bringing people on saying, it's rumors are that, so-and-so is threatening the 25th Amendment and all this kind of stuff. You got to go, putting the pressure on him. And then Biden decides on his own to resign, not because he's has any health problems.
No,
His press secretary.
he's healthy.
He's healthy.
He's healthy.
It's just for the sake of democracy. What does that mean? That means is, we talked about this the other night, the narrative has now been set that you nominate a candidate, you go through what we've gone through for generations as a nation, you campaign, you debate, you get right down to the very end, and the polls are not in your favor. You just say, you know what? All you people done gave hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes.
Millions of people went to the ballot and voted.
There you
So
go.
you know what? The polls tell us we ain't got a shot. So we don't have enough time to have another primary, give you another shot to vote.
We got to do the old switcheroo.
We're just going to switch up the
And it's
candidate.
got to be now, today.
Polls say this guy can win, so we're just going to put him in there.
Yep.
And you better believe both parties know the precedent has been set now. I mean, you can't come back and say, no, you can't do that. That's not who your party nominated. Because now you're going to say, well, yes, you can, because of this is set.
Right.
But Biden, where I'm going is this. Biden says, but I'm going to serve out my 6 months.
Come
okay?
on.
And although, let's remember, we've forgotten about this. Let's remember that there was a special counsel set in place to investigate Joe Biden for criminal acts of documents, and the report came back.
Came to the conclusion, this man.
Number one, committed crimes. He committed crimes, but we choose not to send this to a grand jury because no grand jury would indict an old man with memory problems at this level. So therefore, he's not cognitively able to be prosecuted, but yet he's cognitively able
There you go.
to run the country for another 6 months, but not another 4 years. Y'all, what is wrong with American people?
We are in the upside down. It is crazy.
We have lost our minds.
Cray time. So let me throw another monkey wrench in there. So it appears we are setting Kamala up and making her look like, the greatest thing since sliced bread or the invention of the wheel. Are we preparing for Joe Biden to not only have told us that he's ended his campaign for presidency, but also to say, I am going to step down and relinquish the rest
I thought
of
that.
my
I thought that. And I still think
time as president?
I thought that, but now I don't think that.
You don't think that?
I think that just like we're saying Xi Jinping, Putin, all these others are doing everything they can do before Donald Trump becomes president, I believe the deep state and the people, the puppeteers that have been controlling him realize we have a body that has a name that we can keep in office and we can finish what we started. And we don't have the distraction of having Kamala and her personality now having the power of the presidency. We want to continue to do what we want to get done in this country and globally. So we need to keep him in office. We need to keep him propped up.
Okay.
So that's my opinion. So, but
We'll see. I mean, Karine Jean-Pierre basically told us, we wake him up if we need to because the committee's running things, right?
Right.
We got a committee taking care of things, but we'll go wake him up if we need to.
Yeah. So watch this. So he comes out today, and his speech was just like everything else, very difficult to hear. But he lays out part of his agenda for this 6 months, and it's just silliness because it's not going to happen. You're not going to, in 6 months, pressure a Republican-controlled House of Representatives and a barely skin-tight Democratic-controlled Senate to overhaul the Supreme Court. He rolls out a 3-part plan to overhaul the Supreme Court. He unveiled his plan today to reform the Supreme Court, including term limits for justices and more binding ethics codes. Also called for a constitutional amendment declaring that presidents do not have immunity from criminal prosecution for crimes committed while they're in office. Let me ask you a question. Do we not continuously hear we must stop Trump because he is a threat to democracy. But yet, and we keep saying these people keep saying you got to honor what the Supreme Court said. When the law came down to sanction Roe v. Wade, when the law came down all those years ago, came down to sanction same-sex marriage, all these kind of things. The Supreme Court is the law of the land. That's what they say. Well, then, but not to this president and not to the people that's saying that Trump is a threat to democracy, because this Supreme Court said, Joe Biden, you cannot forgive student loan debt. He comes right out and says, well, guess what? We're going to do it anyway.
You sure did.
And he continues to do it anyway. Now he's saying the Supreme Court said the president, not just Donald Trump, but any president has immunity. That was the law of the land. He comes out and says, you know what? No way. I'm going to take my next 6 months trying to overturn everything you've said.
So do you think that...
I don't even think he even knew what he said today. I'm not trying to be mean, but I think it's truth.
Okay, so someone has a master plan here. Do you think that their real intention is to push each one of these steps? Is there one that they really just want to get done? Why? What is the real reason and agenda for this?
Well, Sandy, if it was a liberal majority court, you would not even hear this. No. They can't stand the fact that they have owned the Supreme Court for so long that no matter what Republicans, presidents, and Congress passed, they always had in the back of their mind, it's okay, when we get to the Supreme Court, they'll overturn it. And when they lost that, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, they went into panic mode because they realized that was not a conservative replacing a conservative or a liberal replacing a liberal. It was going to be a conservative replacing a liberal. And they knew at that point that their stronghold on that little room there, called the Supreme Court, was the most powerful force in the world that sets in motion and codifies laws across the land. They lost it. So now they're only thinking in the short term. They're not thinking long-term consequences of the country. They're thinking we need to pack the Supreme Court. We need to have term limits on it so that we can guarantee that we still always have the ability to shift it back for them to rule our way. But the reality is this: it's not going to happen. It's just talking points. It's distraction. It's those that are behind Biden trying to have something to say that he's actually still doing something during these 6 months. Because watch this. Other than this, nobody's even asked where Joe Biden is lately. It's just because it's been so much about Kamala.
True.
She's operating as president. She said,
it's all Kamala all the time now.
She came out and said, after meeting Netanyahu, came out and said, I told Netanyahu I would always make sure that Israel is safe.
I heard her say it.
So that's all it is.
I'm sure that put his heart at ease, his heart and mind at ease.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
What a show tonight. But it ain't just our country that's in chaos.
No,
it's
not.
The whole world. There was an election that happened last night in Venezuela. Yeah. And world leaders doubt Maduro's victory claim. Last night, it seems so familiar to me because late last night when we went to bed, the opposition to Maduro was claiming victory. There were precincts that were reporting that he received 0 votes, the communist dictator. 0 votes. They were shouting in the streets that he was finally defeated. And in the middle of the night, they must have had a water leak or something.
Water leak. Oh, my goodness.
Well, let's read this here. Here he is. He's declaring victory, just like he did last time.
Yep.
The United States and several Latin American countries cast doubt Monday on President Nicolas Maduro's re-election on Sunday as opposition leaders collected what some said was evidence of a brazen electoral fraud. Venezuela's National Electoral Council, which Maduro controls, claimed early Monday that he had earned 51% of the vote to Gonzalez's 44%. Independent exit polls and partial results suggested Gonzalez had in fact won twice as many votes as Maduro. It was a landslide victory for Gonzalez. But in the middle of the night, something changed, and by Monday afternoon, it had all changed.
Yeah.
and they found votes somehow.
Of course they did. I'll bet the people were furious. Wow. Yep.
Turn you straighten up, baby.
I'm trying to get comfy up in here.
All right.
Your
Okay.
wonderful little table that you brought in here is not actually so great.
You don't love this table?
I'm not loving it.
But you shared our laws for everybody to see. Venezuela's on the brink of civil war after both Putin's pal Maduro and opposition leader declared victory in tinderbox election. It's on the brink of civil war as we see what's happening here in the streets. This is Gonzalez. Yeah. They are basically putting their life on the line. I mean, he's killed opposition people there. But then this was what the official television, even though their count, Gonzalez's count, had them winning twice as many votes as Maduro, the television declared 51 to 44%, nothing to see here. But this is him in the streets. He's declaring victory. Maduro celebrates the results. But let's see what happens when you put a communist and a Marxist in control. He's been in office for 11 years. Mm-hmm. He was his career was a bus driver. So how do you go from bus driver to president of a country? You have to be placed there. He was mentored by Hugo Chavez. Mm-hmm. In 2023, the inflation rate in Venezuela was 360%. Citizens that fled the country since 2014, 8 million.
Wow.
Where do you think most of them fled to?
Yeah.
Economy size since 2013 has been reduced 80%. Yet, it is the largest country of oil reserves in the world. Number one in the world. 300 million plus barrels of oil. This could be...
Well, there's your reason for people to come together over corruption, if nothing else, right?
Exactly. This could be the richest, wealthiest country in the world.
Wow.
But it's one of the poorest. And now you see why it's being controlled, because ultimately it's all about the money and it's all about the control.
These people, a lot of them were starving.
Yes.
Even before 2023 because of all this topsy-turvy government of theirs.
But what is happening this time is there seems to be people are waking up.
They're upset, aren't they?
Today, Hugo Chavez's statue was torn down in Venezuela. Look at this. Watch this.
Wow.
That reminds me of when they tore down Saddam Hussein and when they tore down Lenin and all these different statues. Y'all, do you understand that these people know what this means? Watch it. That's the mentor of the current communist president who just took another election back and has been responsible for the death of many Venezuelan citizens.
This is becoming a common response. What country was it that the leader was trying to escape running down the dock and people were chasing after him long ago?
I can't remember. I remember seeing that video.
I mean, think about the Yellow Vest protest, which I probably couldn't align myself with, in France about 2 years ago. You know, whichever side and party that was, people are angry. They're upset. They don't want to take it anymore. They want to fight back.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the whole saying "go woke, go broke" is really coming back. I mean, people are really rising up more than I really expected them to. It's very encouraging. A lot of these companies have, we just went through Pride Month, and this is not a hate speech thing. What I'm about to say, but I noticed that we were not nearly as inundated this year as we have been in the past.
It did not seem like it. And not only were we not nearly as inundated, that statement that Tractor Supply came out and made, and was there another company that made a statement as well.
John Deere
John
got
Deere.
exposed. Harley Davidson's getting exposed right now too, and it's just man, it's just crazy. It's just crazy what has happened. But people are rising up and saying, I think the last straw was when we saw what they were doing to our kids.
Yes.
I saw somebody reminded me of this today on video. I thought, wow, there's a lot of bad things that happen in COVID, but there's a lot of good things happening in COVID. And one of the things that they did not see coming, the woke people out there and the control people did not see coming, is when we were forced to stay home. In some places in America, 6 months, even up to a year, the kids were at home and didn't go to school.
Right.
It was the first time that parents ever was able to see the teachers teaching. And that's when they started. What did she just say? They went by the monitor and started looking, and they started seeing and hearing the things that have been taught in a lot of public schools. And they started seeing the drag queens in the libraries. They started seeing all the things that's been going on for years that, were able to be denied. And what came out of that is parents rose up, started going to these school board meetings. People started investigating. Companies started seeing how many millions and millions of dollars they were giving to just buy off these people, to keep them from trying to destroy their company and all of this. And eventually people started waking up. And I think this I think this will come back. I think we'll look back on this, what happened at the Olympics.
Yes.
And I think we will see that next Olympics, and I hope I'm right. I usually predict in saying I hope I'm wrong, but I hope I'm right on this one. I think the next Olympics, and I believe they come to Los Angeles. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know.
I believe they're coming to America, but I believe it's you're going to have those elements in there, but it ain't going to be nothing like that, because they're going to realize when they'll never admit it, but when the ratings of the Olympics is over, it's going to be in the barrel. I'm telling you, people have turned it off. I'm talking about people that usually could care less about that kind of stuff would still watch it for national pride.
Yes.
They have turned it off because of this. And
They
it's going to come back to bite
pushed
them.
it too far this time. And just like in this election in Venezuela, this controlling hand that has thought we can get away with anything, we can do whatever we want to do, people are rising up and they're having something to say about it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the news cycle goes so fast that they've done moved on. They only talk about the fact that we were almost still dealing with the death of a attempted assassination on a presidential candidate, but now we're hearing more and more. I saw this the other day. It said by 2025, it is estimated that we're going to run out of conspiracy theories. And I thought, that is so funny. But it's like,
Oh my goodness.
You're probably right. It's like every conspiracy, our minds automatically, people watch this channel, automatically go, wow, I don't know about that. And it's like, it seems like we're being proved right on everything. This whole thing seemed fishy from the beginning, this assassination attempt against Donald Trump. And every day it's becoming more and more apparent that somebody was involved here, y'all, other than this 20-year-old. Okay.
Are you trying to say he was a patsy?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Local SWAT snipers say Trump rally gunman nearly 2 hours before, the gunman nearly 2 hours before assassination attempt. Text messages show.
So are they just now talking, or?
They're coming out and being interviewed. Yes. A local SWAT sniper noticed the suspected gunman at former President Donald Trump's deadly campaign rally earlier than previously known, according to text messages. Authorities have said what an assassination attempt. Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20, opened fire at the event in Butler, Pennsylvania, killing one spectator, critically wounding two others, and leaving Trump bleeding from his right ear. This is the famous shots that we've seen many, many times. Nearly 2 hours before the shooting began, a sniper leaving the area where local SWAT members assembled saw Crooks sitting in the direct right of the picnic table about 50 yards from the exit. Now, this right here is, of course, the famous layout that you've seen where everything was. But I want to get down here, and I want to, this is where they were interviewed on ABC News. These are public. These are the police. Let me see. I think it may be at the very top. Here is the video. Well, I thought it was. There it is. Let's watch this.
ABC News exclusive on the assassination attempt on former President Trump. This morning we're hearing from the local SWAT team for the first time. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky spoke with them. Good morning, Aaron.
And good morning to you, George. This Pennsylvania SWAT team took up positions in defense of the former president at his rally. They saw the shooter first, recognized him as suspicious, and took steps they thought would have prevented the attempted assassination.
This video.
Now they're living with failure.
Well, it ain't gonna work.
I remember sitting in the parking lot talking to one of the guys, and we just became part of history. Not in a good way.
Wow. The SWAT team from Beaver County, Pennsylvania knew something about the scrawny young man seemed off. He can be seen in this video obtained by ABC affiliate WTAE skulking around former President Trump's rally. Text messages between local snipers show they noticed Thomas Matthew Crooks at 4:26 p.m., nearly 2 hours before the attempted assassination that would injure Trump, kill a man, and severely hurt 2 others. "You see me go out with my rifle," one of the snipers texted, "so he knows you guys are up there." By 5:14 p.m., they grew suspicious.
He was looking up and down the building and just wandering around, and it just seemed out of place.
Greg Nichols snapped these photos of the shooter.
We had a text group between the local snipers that were on scene. I had sent those pictures out to that group and advised them of what I noticed and what I'd seen.
What do you think is transpiring once you send in what you've sent in?
I assumed that there would be somebody coming out to, speak with this individual or, find out what's going on.
So how do you know if Greg's concerns about Crooks are being relayed properly?
We don't. We have to assume that when he put that information out to command, that command took that information and did something with it.
But they didn't. Y'all, they didn't.
We don't know if they did.
None of the concerns appears to have reached members of Trump's Secret Service detail. The Washington Post reports they've complained they were never made aware of the warnings. In their first public comments about the assassination attempt, members of the Beaver County SWAT team described to ABC News what they consider to be failures of planning and communication that would prove catastrophic.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday?
No, not until after the shooting, I believe. Yeah.
And by then?
It was too late.
Very telling.
My goodness.
The Secret Service declined to respond directly, but told ABC News the agency is committed to better understanding what happened and is offering complete cooperation with ongoing investigations.
The suspect is directly above us.
Members of the Beaver County SWAT team rushed to the shooter's rooftop.
There's a ladder right here.
As seen in footage from Rich Gianvito's helmet camera.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.
So we had access through that ladder, got up onto the roof.
And as you're scrambling onto that roof, you don't know for sure whether he's dead or alive, or whether you'll encounter fire.
At that point, no.
So what are you prepared? Are you prepared for a firefight at that point?
Well, we're prepared for anything at that point, because at this time we're unsure.
Give me a solid perimeter, get guys prepped to clear the building.
He encountered the shooter's bloodied body some 400 feet from the stage.
We're clear!
The team believes it did everything it could have to thwart the attack, but accepts its share of failure.
I think we all failed that day.
How so?
Life is lost.
Yeah. People died. And if there's anything that we could have done to stop that, we should have done.
We visited this SWAT team.
Wow. Well, he was prevented from being at the top of his game because there wasn't proper coordination.
How crazy is it that literally testifying, who's now resigned, the director of the Secret Service,
right,
literally testified that they had pre-arranged that area to be handled by the local police department, and they were sort of trusting them to handle it, although they had snipers inside the building. But these policemen are brave enough to go on television and say, they never even talked to us at all on the day of the rally. This is the Secret Service protecting a presidential candidate, a former sitting president, and they did not even communicate with them until after the shooting. Y'all, this was a colossal failure.
It screams
but it's
volumes.
Also,
it screams volumes. And if there is a dirty, underhanded play out there, I hate to say it, but the more these people talk, the more danger they might be in.
Right, you're right.
I mean, yeah, we want to hear this. We like watching these interviews of these on-the-ground people telling us what they saw and what their experience was. But if there was a coordinated effort to make sure that this happened, if this kid was used, if you were there on scene and are willing to talk about it, you may be putting yourself in danger.
Yeah. And by the way, remember that guy you said, everybody take a picture of him right now because we wonder if we're going to see him again? I'm not saying anything bad has happened to him. The guy that was the first guy to say that he saw him.
Yes.
I've not seen that guy anywhere. He's and none of those people that you saw on the news that you haven't seen them being interviewed by anybody.
No.
And it's like, I'm sure they're probably been told you need to go underground because you're the one that was the first ones to expose that something was going on.
Either that or these news agencies just want to stay away from them because they don't want us to hear what they have to say again.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And by the way, we'll never know. We'll never know. I don't care who wins the presidency and who says they're going to release whatever files. We'll never know what really happened. All I know is that one person died, two people are critically injured, and a presidential candidate, former president of this United States, and will still probably be the next president, no matter what you're hearing on the news right now, was almost taken out on live TV in front of all of us. And the bottom line is this, conspiracy or not, colossal failure, yes. But more than colossal failure, there was forces in play. There was stand-down orders given. There was things that happened that were not just failures. Somebody knew something. And this dude that supposedly pulled the trigger, I mean, how you going to be 20 years old in the world we live in and you ain't got no social media plan?
Yeah, no digital footprint.
You ain't got no digital footprint. Yeah. And I first thought this was just, theory or just somebody just reacting, but it's now being proven that this dude had offshore accounts. He had money in offshore accounts. You're 20 years old. You don't have a social footprint.
Oh, my goodness.
But you have offshore accounts?
Oh, that's...
And, supposedly what caused the director to finally resign is when it came out that someone had tracked a cell phone or some device with the ping of his house and several times over the last 6 to 8 months in a building next to the FBI. Did you hear that, NSA? I'm just reporting what was on the news. Don't get mad at me. Don't come after me. I'm just reporting what's on the news. But, as the world is getting ready to go to World War III and fight, look what our U.S. military is saying now, officials. The U.S. military is not prepared to fight in a major war, a congressional panel warns. The U.S. military is no longer prepared to fight in a major war, according to a new study conducted by a congressional panel. Though the threats the United States is facing are, quote, the most serious and most challenging it has seen in almost a century, the United States Defense Base is not equipped to meet the moment, according to a report from the Commission on the National Defense Strategy, published on Monday. Among the biggest problems outlined in the report are a troubled Pentagon and a failure by the federal government to properly address threats emanating from adversaries like China and Russia. Quote, the United States last fought a global conflict during World War II, which ended nearly 80 years ago. The nation was last prepared for such a fight during the Cold War, which ended 35 years ago. It is not prepared today.
I don't know how you feel, but that hurts.
That hurts.
To hear that.
Yes, it does.
That's crazy.
The United States is still failing to act with the urgency required across administrations and without regard to the governing party. This report proposes a new approach to spur the speed and scale of change. The congressionally established and bipartisan commission, made up of high-level defense and national security experts, is tasked with assessing the U.S. defense strategy and providing recommendations to Congress and the Pentagon. The most current report from the commission was created in part by RAND and provided analytic, administrative, editorial, and publication support. Both China and Russia are bolstering their military capacity while working closer with one another, creating a looming threat from two of the world's largest superpowers, the report reads. This relationship has also welcomed other American adversaries such as Iran and North Korea, but China remains the key player in the multi-nation access, according to the report. The Commission finds that in many ways China is outpacing the United States and has largely negated the U.S. military advantage in the Western Pacific through 2 decades of focused military investment. The new axis creates a real risk, if not likelihood, that conflict anywhere would be a multi-theater or a global war, according to the report.
Global war.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And people will laugh and mock and just say, yeah, World War III, I've heard. No, y'all, listen, we're on the precipice of something major.
Yes.
And we have a bipartisan group saying we are not ready. Silence. Can't say much to that, can you?
I don't even want to think about that.
But we have to.
We have to.
We have to think about it, and we have to talk about it.
It's a devastating reality that is staring us right in the face.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And, you know, we've talked about that we have multiple sources that have told us that it's not just clickbait talking points. They really are talking about instituting the draft again. Yeah. And that they are not only talking about instituting the draft again, they are saying that when we do it, we will have to lower our standards on obesity, physical ailments that used to disqualify you.
Probably physical endurance.
Physical endurance. I mean, just so that we can have, I hate to say it this way, bodies. Yeah. Because when they run the numbers, y'all, I take you back to June of last year. June of last year, it was told to me that, and I made a show, I think it was July, by July, they were going to start moving assets, military assets to the Pacific. This was long before October 7th. When that happened, it created an even bigger powder keg. But we were told by people on the inside that the military was telling their people, we are going to war with China in 2024. Right. We have said before, and we say again, we hope that was wrong. I asked this person, on a scale from 1% to 100%, what is the chances that we are going to war with China in 2024? And this is what he said. God can do anything, barring a miracle, what they are telling us, 100%. That was his words.
Ooh,
quote.
Definitely did not want to hear that.
So we know that just last week and the week before last, we said that China has begun circling Taiwan.
Yes.
And there is no doubt in my mind that if China is going to take Taiwan, they're going to make a move before November 5th.
Wow.
And
well, the Taiwanese have basically embraced that thought, right?
Yes.
That they're going to war.
Yes, absolutely. They have already begun the drills preparing for that because they are prepared. They believe they are going to war. Oof. That's the world that we're in right now.
It is. Yeah, it is.
But while that's going on, let's not forget that the last time we had a presidential election that created so much chaos was we had a wah-wah and we had a global wah-wah. If you're new to the channel, wah-wah, I'm going to say it one time, is code word for the stick and the mask
safe
and the disease.
Effective
yeah.
medical intervention.
That was so impressive. Safe and effective medical intervention.
Yes. I think you all know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So that was then. But now this is now. That was then, this is now. Our big thing is the bird flu.
Yeah.
Former CDC Director Robert Redfield, we have covered him many times on this show, adamantly warns, watch this, for the 5th time. This is the 5th time that he has made a public statement. Quote, we will have a bird flu pandemic.
You know what that makes me think is if it doesn't happen on its own, we will do something to
That's what it sounds like.
To make sure that it happens.
We're going to let you know it is coming.
One way or another.
We will have a bird flu pandemic. Yeah. Urges for major biosecurity funding. Quote, more importantly, COVID-19 is not, this is a former CDC director, is not our nation's last pandemic. I'm particularly concerned about the bird flu. So he goes on to say, issued this warning on July the 11th during a Homeland Security Government Affairs Senate Committee hearing. During the session, Redfield admitted that the COVID-19, first time ever publicly he did this, he admitted that the COVID-19 wah-wah should not have been mandated and even called them, quote, toxic. Admitting that the wah-wah have led to an increase in cardiovascular disease and autoimmune disorders. Goodness. The former CDC director admitted that. In his opening testimony, Redfield contended that, quote, biosecurity is the most important threat to our nation's national security, more so than China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran, urging more funding to be allocated to this. Redfield has for some time warned and believes that COVID-19 was the product of gain-of-function research that escaped in a lab leak. Quote, while some believe that gain-of-function research is critical to get ahead of viruses by developing wah-wahs, in this case, I believe it had the exact opposite result, unleashing a new virus on the world without any means of stopping it and resulting in the deaths of millions of people and changing our nation's way of life in more profound than even a nuclear event. So he is currently saying that he's concerned about H5N1 in the pandemic among chickens, turkeys, and wild fowl in the U.S. It has recently spread to more than 25 other U.S.-based mammals, most recently dairy cattle that we've talked extensively about.
Right. They're still tracking and monitoring 75 people.
Yeah.
I don't know what state, but they're watching them very closely.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, he's going to want to make sure that you get the vaccine for this, though, right?
Yeah, he wants a vaccine, mRNA. But he does, but just surprisingly, though, this same guy apologizes and says mRNA vaccine was a mistake, as we just referred to. So I don't know how adamant he is about rushing something, mRNA. I have no idea.
I have a hard time believing that he's not going to get on that train.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, they're wanting to vaccinate the cows.
Of course.
As well.
Of course. Which means they probably already are.
They probably already are. Yep. Rapid fire here. BRICS. Let's don't forget about BRICS, what they're doing. The U.S. Central Bank hits $1 trillion in losses. What it means for the dollar. Amid the BRICS ongoing de-dollarization initiative, the U.S. Central Bank has officially hit more than $1 trillion in losses, which could have a massive impact on the dollar. Indeed, the Federal Reserve has seen its paper losses actualized into more than $100 billion in actual losses. Moreover, there appears to be no relief on the doorstep.
Oh, no. We're doing fine. The Dow, just a couple of days ago, was over 40,000. I noted that to you. The economy is great. It's great. Inflation, manageable. Yeah. They're going to lower interest rates any time now. The very next meeting, surely they're going to lower those interest rates. It's great here. Everything's great.
Everything's great. Nothing to see here. By the way, for those that are already thinking that are new to the channel going, my God, this show is depressing. It's just one thing after
I'm
another.
going to start drinking again. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I need a cigarette. I don't know.
No, you don't.
Not me.
Not you. We don't do that. Ooh. But the reality is this. We know we give you a lot of rapid fire negative things, but we try to always tell you that this is simply to open your eyes to what is going on in the big picture.
Yes.
But we're not here to fearmonger. We're here to tell you, prepare your family, get your mind right, know the facts, but more than anything, get your heart right with God. Yes. Make sure you have your heart right with God, because that's going to be the most important thing that you can have in your life as we go forward. I promise you that.
100%.
And watch my Bible studies on Wednesday night. That'll help you. So one of the reasons that I believe that they're really, because he's repeatedly said this, because CBDCs is digital money, central bank digital currency.
Right.
And they are globally coming around. And we've said it one time, we've said it again, we've said it already on the show. If it's digital, it's
programmable.
And if it's programmable, it's controllable.
Yes, it is.
So we understand that. Well, Trump says whether he can carry through with this or not, he's made a point in every place that he stops now. He is saying in his rallies, CBDCs are a threat to liberty.
Right.
Donald Trump has reiterated his stance regarding CBDCs. In a recent speech to Bitcoin 2024 conference this past couple of days ago in Nashville, he made it crystal clear, saying, quote, "There will never be a CBDC while I am president." Do you understand that is to the controllers of the world?
Them's fighting words.
Them's fighting words right there, because that's part of their master plan.
Absolutely.
And he is saying,
if he didn't already have a target on his back,
exactly.
You've got one now.
You got one now. Trump has consistently expressed strong opposition to the idea of CBDC and says that he believes such a currency would give the government too much control over people's money, which could potentially lead to financial tyranny. Trump's firm stance underscores the escalating discussion surrounding CBDCs, and it is very concerning. But for him to make the statement, there will be no CBDCs as long as I'm president, I'm telling you, that ruffled some feathers.
Well, honestly, it's surprising to me that he would come out and say that, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, some people said, did he really get changed when he reached up there and saw the blood in his hand and realized after he watched the video that just turning his head saved his life? You know, he's back to old Trump. You know, he's saying, you know, lying Kamala and all that kind of stuff. He's back to the mean tweet Trump, okay?
Mean tweets.
But I think if he changed, you know what he said today? He said, people have asked me, have you changed? They said, will Donald Trump change? He said, I ain't changed. In fact, anything, I'm more determined. I'm worse than I was before. He just said it. He goes, hey, back it up. But what I think happened is it just seems like he's just like, you know, I didn't care before, but I really don't care now. I'm gonna win this thing. I can't be there for 4 more years. Ooh. And they already tried to kill me. They're gonna probably try again. And so you know what? I might as well just go ahead and say what I want to say. And for him to come out and say CBDCs is not going to happen while I'm president, that was somebody that was just like, you know, I don't even care. Say what you want to say. Send me the threat.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't have expected to hear that, but here we go. As if we needed something else to not come together over.
Y'all, I watched this video with these two guys that were being interviewed about Trump. They both were in the Trump administration the first time. And this one guy said, one of my favorite stories that I need to tell you about that I was there with Donald Trump. He said, we had flew to the Middle East and we were talking to the leader of ISIS. And was ISIS the one that controlled Afghanistan that we left all the stuff with, or was that the Taliban? That's the Taliban one. Well, he goes there and he says to them, he goes, look, I want to get out of Afghanistan. I'm going to pull our troops out of Afghanistan. He said, but I want you to know something. If one single American is killed, Trump said, he's talking to the interpreter. He says, tell him that I said, if one American is killed, I am going to kill him. And he said the interpreter looked at him. The interpreter was scared to death, looked at him, and he goes, Trump said, tell him. And he told him, and the guy rose up and he reaches in his pocket, and Trump pulls out of his pocket. This guy's telling the story. And he says, look at this picture. And he shows a picture of that man's house. He said, this is your house.
Whoa.
And I'm telling you right now, if you don't do what I just said, I know where you live. This is a picture of your house. I carried in my pocket to show you. And he said, not one American was killed while he was president.
My goodness.
That's the difference of how you got to deal with people.
Yeah. Well, when you're talking about, I hate to say, this kind of people, that's the kind of word you need to use. That's the language that they understand.
Yeah.
Sadly.
So back here, y'all, I'm just going to rapid fire, and then we're going to bring Jimmy in here.
Jimmy!
But watch this, y'all. Did you ever think you'd see this headline?
No.
In 200 cities in America, and it's just in a handful of states, though, but in 200 cities, if you are a young couple and you want to buy a starter home, they're now over $1 million.
Can I just ask the question, who are these people?
Yeah. You've seen that funny little parody which says, Larry is a professional pencil sharpener while Sandy makes origami at home. Their budget for their house that they're looking for is $1.5 million. I mean, that's what these shows are. I mean, like they're walking around looking at these shows and they look like they came straight out of high school and they're buying like a $1.5 million house. But watch this. $1.5 million starter homes now the norm in over 200 cities. Zillow reports that 237 cities where starter homes exceed $1 million, up from 84 cities 5 years ago. California, of course, leads with 117 cities, followed by New York, 31 cities, New Jersey, 21, Florida, and Massachusetts, 11 each. Nationwide starter home values surged 54.1% in the last 5 years. What? Starter home values have surged nationwide 54% in the past 5 years.
Crazy.
Then you know what's happening. We've covered it here. You have BlackRock, you have Vanguard, you have all these countries. These companies are going in and buying up huge swaths of land and building large developments. And every one of the houses are owned by them, and they are leasing them and renting them and not selling any of them. That's where. And have we heard that before?
Yep.
You'll own nothing and be happy. You'll rent everything.
Yep.
Wow.
And you'll be happy because you're drugged up.
You'll be happy because you're drugged up. Well, let's just go ahead. I think we need a little bit of help here. I think we need a little bit
help
of
a brother out, Jimmy.
Well, yeah, bro.
Let him out of the closet. It's time.
Jimmy!
It's time for his 15 minutes.
Uncle Jimmy.
It's the Supernatural AI Update.
That's one of my favorite pictures of you.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Supernatural AI Update. You've already given the Golden Chicken Award.
Yes. Not going to say that there will not be another one.
Exactly. Is Cosmo anywhere around?
He's probably scratching around the closet, too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he needs to come out of the closet.
He likes to get out of the closet as well.
Yep. Well, let's just start off with just a little lighthearted story. It's not really lighthearted. This is about digital AI control. Largest grocery store chain in Japan is now using AI to monitor staff smiles, speech tones, and issues game scores to improve quality service. This is what we mean by digital is controllable. Japan's largest grocery chain recently became the world's first company to use AI to track the smiles and emotional state of staff who interact with customers. It will be rolled out in all of its 240 Japanese locations. So this just sort of gives an idea. They're going to be watching. So when you're checking someone out, they got a camera watching to see if you say, thank you so much, have a great day. If you say, appreciate it. Ding, 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 ding.
Wow. Is that going to affect your social credit score?
Which that's supposed to be in China. Japan's supposed to be a democracy or some kind of free nation.
I mean, okay, the Japanese, I get it. They're a little different than we are, but at what point do you, as a citizen, as an employee, as an individual, say, stop?
Yeah.
Stop! I do not need a camera in my face. How many times do each and every one of us, even in this country, go past a camera that is looking at you in your car? They're looking at you in the store. They're watching you at your job. There are cameras in our televisions, probably our thermostats, probably our other appliances. Our appliances are talking to each other. It's the Internet of Things. It's insane.
Yeah. Somebody just asked, what if you say have a blessed day? Do you get in trouble?
You're definitely going to get a mark on your credit score, your social credit score for that. But it's just ridiculous. When I was trying to get back home, we were at the airport, one of my favorite places, by the way, not. There was one of these markets. So I think it's, what is it, an Amazon market where there are no employees. You go in, you fill your basket or whatever. You never interact with a human. You go into the store and you come out with whatever your merchandise was, and it's just taken out of your account.
Wow.
So they had one of these I was in a lot of airports, so quite frankly, I don't remember which one it was. 3 different planes to get home. So I was about ready to pull my hair out, but I thought, wow, I've never seen one of these, and here it is in all its glory.
All its glory. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I noticed in a couple of airports, not only do they have the company where you can scan your eyes and all that and avoid going through the security check and all that faster.
I used my Clear, by the way.
Yes, yeah, and it's some of y'all are like, I can't believe that y'all are doing that. They already got our eyes, so we did that because it's. I'm not going to say that we're not notoriously late sometimes for some reason. So it's.
You trying to insinuate something?
I'm not going to say a reason, but I have noticed a lot more cameras watching you in the terminals in some of these larger cities. Like when you're going up, when you're just walking in through the terminals, y'all, just along to your gate, I've noticed cameras are being installed. Yep. And now I've noticed more and more of if you've seen these, let me know in the comment section if you have. But some of the places I've gone to, they are being ran by a camera to pay for things. So you walk up, there's nobody working it. You just walk up and there's just open, you can just take something off the shelf.
Right.
And they put you immediately on camera and they show you that we know you've got this. We know that you just picked up a water. We know that you just picked up a bag of Doritos. We can see it. And then you just look at the camera and you hold it up. And it scans it, and then you pay for it, and then and then what kills me is that one of the airports I was in, that I did that because it was the only way I could do it, and it asked me if I wanted to tip.
What?
It did. It asked me if I wanted to tip.
Oh my goodness!
Like, am I tipping Uncle Jimmy? Who am I tipping?
Right.
Tipping myself?
Yeah.
But I'm giving you the money.
I'm telling you what. I don't know how I would have responded, but I would probably have wanted to stick my face as close into that camera.
Well, don't you remember what happened to us in California when we bought our food? Mm-hmm. We was trying to figure out what that fee was.
Yes.
And they said that was our employee benefit initiative.
Is that what it was called?
Something like that. And we said, what does that mean? They said that helps us pay our employees. And I was like,
isn't that your job already to pay your employees?
Exactly. It was a fee in California.
And they ask if you wanted to leave a tip as well.
Yeah. Y'all, this is where we're living. But look, if you want to feel more excited about your world, then you're really going to get excited about your world. This is the chief AI scientist for Meta, which of course owns Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and others. He says that there will be no smartphones by the next 10 years. None whatsoever.
Because
and let's watch the video.
Something's going to creep me out in just a second.
Yeah. Let's see if we can. Can't never find when I zoom in like this where the volume is. Let's do this. Maybe I can see it. Uh-oh, what just happened? What did I just do?
You just made that story disappear.
There it is.
There you go.
But where's the volume? There it is. Okay.
We're not going to have smartphones anymore. We're going to have augmented reality glasses. Okay, so The computer will still be in our pocket, but we'll talk to our glasses. Our glasses will display content that will be overlaid over the real world. So if you go to a foreign country, you don't speak the language, you see a sign, the sign will be translated automatically and displayed in your augmented reality glasses. You talk to someone and that person doesn't understand the language you speak, the translation will be displayed in their glasses, and when they speak to you, the translation will be displayed in your glasses. 10 years from now,
What is all that
or
noise?
15 years from now.
Are these people cheering him on
Yeah.
or disputing
like he's
and trying to rebuke him for what
He sounds like he's at an airport or something.
I don't know.
Oh, let's just rapid fire here. Look at this right here.
Oh, my.
If you really wanted to have somebody that instead of a drag queen or Snoop Dogg going up and lighting how about let this guy? This guy he cannot walk. His legs are completely paralyzed, and AI is now causing him to be able to walk
Helping
and
him
carry
to
that
be
torch.
able to. He looks so happy.
Is that not amazing?
That is amazing.
I mean, now that's amazing technology.
This is a positive thing.
He looks just so happy. He can't
looks
believe
so happy that he's getting to do that. This is great.
they're rolling his wheelchair beside him, and he's literally walking, y'all.
That's
So I'm just
great.
going to show you several things here about AI. Now, this right here, y'all. I saw this. I was like, oh, you're lying to you. I'd like to have some of these. So these are AI-powered, what they're calling moonwalker shoes.
Wow. 7 miles per hour. My goodness.
So let's see if we can hear him. I don't know why.
Completely safe.
Let's see if we can get him to talk.
I'm sure it's completely safe.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Why is it not playing? I can't hear him talking. I don't know why he's not talking. But basically, when you're walking, it says for every mile an hour that you're walking, it will cause you to walk 7 to 10 miles an hour just by walking. And AI senses when your muscles start slowing down, it starts slowing down. And
Making them completely safe.
Yeah, completely safe.
I'm sure.
Because when I watched it, I'm thinking, because it said, and this is how you stop. Your legs stop. And I'm like, yeah, but what if they don't stop?
Exactly.
When your legs are wanting to stop. There's that.
I'm dealing with that right now, by the way. my legs often don't do what I want them to do. Oh, because I'm trying to recover. But yeah.
And then we've shown you this before, but this just keeps getting freakier by the week. This is classic vintage portraits
Come to life.
that they now turned into life, y'all. Watch this. Look, this is just creepy. These are some of these are hundreds and hundreds of years old, and now we're just sort of watch this one. What? Why are they doing this?
Yeah.
Why are they doing this?
Got to make a point. Got to prove a point.
Y'all, what are we going to be able to tell anything right now? All I can do is tell you to trust me. We are real.
Yes, 100%.
I know. There's no. I can't prove it to you.
It don't get more real than this.
It don't get no more real than this, y'all. Y'all know I'm real because if I wasn't real, the computer would have deleted me.
Yeah.
The Matrix would have done got me.
I've thought about taking you out a few times myself, to be honest with you.
Taking me out on a date. Well, baby, you so sweet. You so sweet.
Yeah, that.
You know, I'm going to show you one more thing before I do that. This is why we need Telegram. The Telegram channel is exploding. Our Rumble channel is exploding, which probably hurt me in the YouTube algorithm right then to even say the name because that's what I've been told, that they don't even like you doing that. But if you're not already on Telegram, you need to get on Telegram because it is one of the most uncensored platforms out there. And I'm doing things in Telegram, talking about things and sharing news items that I cannot share here. So all you got to do is go down to the description of this video that you're watching, wherever you're watching it, and there's a quick link, takes you right to my Telegram channel. Understand that there's already people that's cloned our channel pretending to be us. I'll never send you a private message, period, on Telegram, and I'll never, certainly, ever ask you for money in a private message and all this. So if you get all those, ban them. They're not real. But go to the one that's down low and go to our Telegram tonight. Don't wait. Get on there because I'll be on there tonight. When this show is over with, I'll always make a Telegram-only message, and I'll be seeing you over there tonight. So just go ahead and do that and help us build our channel. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Would you like to help us build the Big Picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We ain't woke. We are certainly awake. We got one more that we want to show you. And the title of this, I'm going to try to zoom it in, is We've Reached the Tipping Point in AI Video, where it can now be used to tell complete real stories. And I'm hoping that the audio can work on this. I don't know why it's not working. Still not working. It was working earlier. Wow, I wish I could get this to work. Stay with me.
Yeah, we need to hear the audio on this. This is cool. But even if we can't get the audio up, we still are going to show this because this is
it's not working.
Pretty intriguing.
Let's see what's happening here. I don't know. Trust me, it had audio. But you can see the video, and it's basically there's a narrator's talking behind, and it's in the whole movie of how the aliens came and how we're handling and how the government handled it. And this was all started by one prompt that basically said, create a movie of how the world's military would respond to an alien attack globally, a global world war against aliens, and it created this movie. In just a few minutes. This is the world we live in. So, Sandy, once again, let's say it. Yeah. You better be right with God.
That's right.
You better be right with God. What does right with God mean? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man gets to the Father except through me.
There you go. There you go.
And you know, the Bible tells us, if you really want to learn how to come to me, come as a child. We haven't heard from the bunny rabbit. I think we need to hear from the bunny rabbit as we go. Harper, if you're watching, we love you, and we're going to let you take us out and remind the world that we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. But listen to my bunny rabbit. We'll see you next time. Don't forget.
Cousin Cosmo says good night as well.
Good night as well. Got Bible study coming up Thursday night, Kingdom Intelligence Report. Breaking news. Go to Telegram tonight. Woo. Go to Telegram.
We are woke, but we are sitting awake.
You go, baby girl.
That's what I'm talking about, girl.
Woo!